Before we get started with today's video, remember Mad Magazine before they went all woke on us? Among other aspects of life, they would hilariously use satire to mock and expose both the left and right political parties. Well, there's another magazine that's light years beyond that. 100% independent Flip City magazine. I personally think they're better than Mad because they pull no punches. They'll take a stab at not only Klaus, Great Reset, Schwab, Gill, Final Solution, Bates, and St. Anthony Fraudstey, but they'll give you the bad and the ugly about Dennis Zio Prager, Charlie Kirk, and Dan World Economic Forum Red Flag Law Crenshaw. It's an uncensored free speech magazine from great artists and writers that you're going to love, treating woke like the joke it actually is. There's really no magazine like it. Support these free speech heroes. Go to flipcitymag.com and get a subscription today. The link is in the description. Let's go ahead and get started. I think this is an example of the Hegelian dialectic. Problem, reaction, solution. Create a problem, wait for the fear-based reaction, and then step in to provide the pre-planned solution. Because if you look at the timeline of what happened with this baby formula thing, and it's actually outlined fairly well on this CNN broadcast. They kind of go through the timeline of what actually happened. Well, you know that Abbott Labs was closed down, and the FDA had a lot to do with that. And the thing that kills me is this is a problem reaction solution on a grander scale than people might imagine, because what we have involved in here is we have monopolies. We have corporations doing business as governments and governments doing business as corporations. We have limiting or eliminating altogether baby formula competition by restricting baby formula from coming in from outside the United States. 98% of the baby formula that the U.S. mothers get comes from the United States. You've got 90% of the baby formula market going to just four major companies: Abbott, Gerber, Nestle, and Perrigo, and the fifth is like Mead Johnson. But if 90% of the baby formula is coming out of four major companies, Abbott Labs has 42% of that market share. And on top of it, Abbott Labs has half of the states in the United States hooked up with the WIC program. That's just a government program. Basically, the government's saying, hey, Abbott Labs, we're going to give you this exclusive deal in 50% of the states in the United States where you supply baby formula, thereby limiting the competition. So anybody who wants to compete with Abbott Labs has to compete with the deep pockets of the United States government. Who's going to be able to compete with that? So now all the options get limited. And when options get limited and competition evaporates, you have lower quality and higher prices. When you introduce competition, you have better quality because the market goes, okay, if it was a free market, which it's not, everything's predicated on the fiat currency Ponzi scheme, the petrodollar. Everything's predicated on corporations doing business with governments and governments doing business with corporations. So we're far from a free market. But in a free market, when you introduce competition, then the person who's making the same product that the competition is now going to make is incentivized to be more efficient, more effective, have a higher quality product, and offer it to the public at a lower price. But when you eliminate that competition, now safety goes down, efficacy goes down, people start fudging the numbers, the product quality goes down, and prices go up. So this is a convergence of evil stuff under the covers, because the government is completely in control of all this stuff. And now you have mothers who are dependent on this baby formula. Whether that's a good thing or not is irrelevant. Whether the FDA says, hey, you shouldn't be making your own baby formula is irrelevant. If the government tells you not to do something, it's probably a good idea to maybe at least consider the opposite. So when you have 90% of all baby formula in the United States made by four companies, when one of those companies has 42% of the market share, and that same company, Abbott Labs, has 50% of the states that have to use their product in the WIC program, you have a recipe for disaster in what you're seeing now. So when the FDA steps in and shuts down one of those plants because 4 babies were harmed, 2 supposedly died, which is interesting in it of itself, because if it's true that those 4 babies were injured, 2 of them passed away, unfortunately, which is super sad. Why wouldn't they use the same argument with baby formula as they do with the VAXXs? With the VAXXs, it's like, but there may be rare cases of side effects, but for the most part, it's safe and effective. So go ahead, put your life on the chopping block, bow down at the altar of Jabbo, do what the big pharma industrial complex says, go step in line and do with whatever the government dictates that you should do. Why aren't they saying that same thing with the baby formula? Why aren't they saying, but for the most part, it's safe, it's effective, very few people are harmed by this product. Instead, they shut the plant down. So now you got the problem. So now you got 42% of everything that was supposed to go into the market, 50% of WIC completely offline, and now you got mothers scrambling around for baby formula, and when they arrive at the store, they got nothing but empty shelves. This all looks like the makings of the problem. And now we've got the reaction. Of course mothers are freaking out. If that was their only source to put nutrition into their babies so that they could live, you got some I didn't look up the figures. Maybe some of you can in the live stream. How many current nursing infants are there in the United States presently? I bet it's a bunch of babies that are fed with formula. So now we got all these mothers out there representing, 110,000, 100,000, 200,000, a million babies who now don't have the nutrition that they're used to getting. Of course the mothers are going to freak out. So that's the reaction. And then what's the solution? The solution, so you got now you got problem, shut down 50% of the supply for women's, infants, and children, which is the government program, wait for the fear-based reaction, and then step in to provide maybe it's the pre-planned solution. I don't know, just speculating here. Here's the solution. House Democrats introduced $28 million bill to address baby formula shortage. And where does that $28 million go to? The FDA. House Democrats on Tuesday introduced legislation to provide an additional $28 million to the Food and Drug Administration to help address the baby formula shortage affecting families across the country. Do you think the government cares about your baby? I mean, just be honest. Be real honest. Wipe away the minutia. Wipe away everything that you've been taught from the CIA infiltrated Operation Mockingbird, MK Ultra media. Forget about what you learned from the 15,000-hour indoctrination program and just go by your life experiences. Do you think the government cares about you? Do you think the United States government and the FDA gives a damn about you or your child? Just answer it honestly, because they say they do. We care about the Biden administration is on this. We're laser focused on making sure that all the babies in our country get the baby formula they need. Do you really think the Biden administration, the Trump administration, the Obama administration, the Bush administration, do you think any administration really cares about your baby? Do politicians care about anything other than power and profit? The supplemental appropriations bill. Oh, we're gonna make another. Ooh, we got a crisis, and we can't let this crisis go to waste. We got to make an appropriations bill. From Representative Rosa DeLario of Connecticut. Have you seen her? Got that blue streak in her hair. What the frick is going on? The chair of the House Appropriations Committee would provide resources. Oh, where are you going to get those resources? Oh, we got to extract and fleece the tax cattle a little bit more to keep fraudulent formula products from making their way onto store shelves. That, of course, government doesn't know anything about fraudulent. Government doesn't know anything about creating fraudulent situations and doing dishonest things. So the dishonest, fraudulent government is going to try to keep fraudulent formula from making their way to store shelves. Makes a lot of sense. Come on, people, use your noodle. And helps acquire better data on the formula marketplace. It would also fund, that's with stolen dollars, guys. We're talking about stolen dollars. The balance of needed FDA activities. Oh, there's more. Bolster the workforce focused on formula issues and boost FDA inspection staff. So the FDA created the problem, and the FDA is about to get handsomely rewarded for creating the problem by other government bureaucrats. Isn't that what's going on? I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. Delario says the stories of mothers and fathers struggling to find formula and the images of empty store shelves are heartbreaking. Parents and caretakers across the country cannot wait. They need our support now. What are the 9 most dangerous words in the English language? I'm from the government and I'm here to help. We should add 4 more words to that. Myself to your stuff. The government's here to help you, really? Oh, how about you step out of the way and stop creating problems? Stop creating shortages. Stop creating monopolies that reward very few companies in eliminating competition. Is that too much to ask? Is that unreasonable? Am I out of bounds by saying that? If you think I am, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. With all the crazy stated plans of the Great Reset, the currency reset, and even the food reset, it's not a matter of if the store shelves are going to clear and there's a lack of food. The question is when. You need to get long-term storable food. It doesn't matter if it's from me or you just go to the store and you buy food. Just grab dry, storable food while you can. If you want to get it from me, you're going to support the channel and you're going to help yourself out because my link has a discount code embedded within it. You can check that out in the description below.